It was supposed to be a tough game last week. On the road at number 8 Syracuse, but the Marshall juggernaut continues to roll through the ACC. We get a huge win, 42-9, and today we are on the road against in-state rival West Virginia in what is known as the Friends of Cole Bowl. It's week 10 in season 6 with the Marshall Thundering Herd. I'm Kimbroplays, let's get it. We are back atop the college football playoff rankings after our big win at Syracuse. North Carolina slides down to the number 2 spot, and it's interesting, a lot of really good programs are here in the top 10. Remember, this is the first season of the 12-team college football playoff, so we're going to have to keep an eye on a larger number of teams. When I look at the rest of the top 12, Notre Dame stands out to me. We play them next week, and Illinois just smoked Michigan 45-14. Remember, we played the Wolverines in week 2, so we know that's a quality win for the Illini. So there's a lot to keep an eye on as we close out this season. Marshall now with a 2-game lead in the loss column in the Atlantic Division. Plus, we have the head-to-head tiebreaker versus Florida State, Syracuse, and Boston College already. We do still have a big matchup against North Carolina State in 2 weeks right after the Notre Dame game, so the Wolfpack aren't out of it just yet. And then on the coastal side, North Carolina has the lead, but 3 teams just below them only have 1 loss. So the Tar Heels are going to have to keep up this pace, or a lot of good teams in their division might catch them. It is still Andrew's race to lose. Hunter from Florida is making a charge, but our QB1 for the top team in the country still looks to be the player to beat. I thought he had a chance to be a good player someday, but not this good already from the start of his career. A fun little storyline this week is Coach Mayo's career is reaching that point where his talented coordinators are leaving to go lead programs of their own. Mike Houston is one of those first examples. He is in his first season leading the West Virginia Mountaineers. Our defensive coordinator last year helped us win a title. Now he's off to a rough 2-6 start, and his job security is already low. Certainly a tough rebuild situation for Coach Houston. The WVU roster is led by 2 standout corners. Paris and Roach are both studs. High 80s overall, each with 96 speed. They actually feel like what we wish we had from Mario Sanders and Eric Love. But to be honest, the rest of the roster is pretty weak, especially along the trenches. Their highest rated lineman on either side is 79 overall right guard Kendall Barr, and he's injured for this one. Not to mention they have to start 74 overall true freshman Marshall Flanagan at quarterback. Not ideal. A C overall roster for West Virginia, 2-6, and struggling mightily on defense. 114th in total defense, allowing 426 yards per game. They're 115th at defending the run. So I expect a huge game from Casey Smith, this offensive line today for sure. Welcome to Morgantown and Milan Puskar Stadium, named after a pharmaceutical executive who lives in Morgantown and donated $20 million to the school in 2004. I can't imagine my college doing something like that. I would be furious, but okay. They seat 70,000, and the stadium opened in 1980. Marshall and West Virginia played for the first time in 1911. West Virginia won that one 17-15, but with both teams in the ACC now, this being a protected rivalry, it's going to be great that these 2 teams face off every single year. Adams and Marshall getting this day going from the 26 out of shotgun, dumping this one down to Casey Smith, who pushes a few people, juking his way upfield. What an effort by Casey Smith. We mentioned him just a moment ago. He gets this little check down on the angle route, jukes, bowls over a player, and then hits the back juke. Man, what a dynamic athlete we have at running back now. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved our time with Rasheen Ali, but we actually have a guy with electric athleticism, and he's showing it. Clemens with a short pickup on first down. Now we sling it out to Brennan Armstrong on 2nd and long. He's got 11. 1st and 10 across the midfield stripe. Adams looking left, finding Armstrong. 2nd straight play. He's got it now for 21, and Marshall's well into West Virginia territory. From about the 21, Adams giving it counter to Casey Smith. West Virginia was ready for it, well defended. Now a 2nd and 14, Adams looking downfield, drifting outside of the pocket, stops, throws, and it's a little bit too far out in front of Chandler Taylor. It's going to leave us with a 3rd and 14. Shotgun, 4-man pressure. Well protected. Adams stepping up, scrambling, looking left. He's inside the 10, inside the 5, going to get knocked out of bounds. He's got 21 yards, and look at the blocking. Everyone locked up. They could not get to the quarterback. Adams makes him pay. Shout out this Marshall offensive line. We talked about how bad West Virginia is in the trenches, and this is a statement drive. The Herd come out on the first time they touch it, punch it into the end zone. Adams on the quarterback keeper gets us in for 6, and we get a chance to look at our first studio update of the day, and it's a big score. NC State with a huge upset, 27-24 over number 2 North Carolina, handing the Tar Heels their first loss on the season and taking some bragging rights in Carolina. Cuse rolls 42-20. Boston College sneaks past the Hokies, and Pitt gets a solid win, 38-14 over Virginia. West Virginia getting the ball for the first time. They get a little jet motion out to Reese, the wide receiver. He cuts it upfield, gets around the edge. He's got 5. Really impressive opening drive by Marshall. We'll see if West Virginia can respond as they get the running game going here. 29, breaks a few tackles. That's Omar Golden. Gets away from Tyrone Hooper, the defensive tackle, picks up a huge block downfield on safety Corey Brown, and Golden does a good job rumbling. Has a big gain. They go to Golden again, this time sweep left and much less success. Jermaine Johnson in there on the tackle. 2nd and 8. Well protected. Flanagan misses his target. Airmails it as he was looking for the wide receiver on the left side. Now a 3rd and long. They try to go tunnel screen to Bo Reese. Ryan Young all over it. 4th and 8 upcoming. Quickly, this drive stalls for West Virginia, but they are still within field goal range, and yes, they are. That man has a iron foot. My goodness, that would have probably been good from 60. West Virginia on the board, 7-3 Marshall. Early, midway in the first. First play of the next drive, Casey Smith on the little halfback screen. Gets out outside of the numbers, has 16. We're getting a lot of action going for Casey Smith now. Over the middle, Tommy Chambers, good strike by Adams, and we're across midfield already. 2 plays already inside the West Virginia 40. Sweep left to Smith, has the edge, gets knocked out of bounds. He's got 9, leaving us with a 2nd and 1. Empty. Adams drifting, looking left, finds his 4th option on this play. It's Armstrong, who's seen a lot of good work early in the first quarter as well. Another first down reception for Brennan Armstrong. Setting up the protection. West Virginia only sends 3. Adams has all day. Now gets outside of the pocket. Decides to tuck and run again. Is going to slide down. He's got it inside the 10, and they're going to set us up with a 1st and goal. Adams giving right. It's a sweep. Casey Smith cuts it back inside and gets into the end zone. 8-yard run, masterfully blocked by the Marshall offensive line, and just like that, we march it down and score again. Early success in the run game, getting our skilled players going. 14-3, Marshall has the lead as they get it out on the sideline to Victor Young for 6 to start their drive. West Virginia did a good job first time, moved the ball on us a little bit. We're able to get points. Oh, this is not good for them, though. Scott Ward reads this one, picks the pocket, and he's in for 6. Interception return for touchdown for Scott Ward. True freshman Flanagan not feeling the cover 2 as we're just sitting out there in the flat. Scott Ward comes up, snags it, returns this one all the way, and we can get on you quick. 21-3 just like that, as they only have 35 yards of offense, now the INT, and it's right back out there. Turning and giving to Golden. This is probably what they need to stick to if they're going to have a chance. He's got 5. Do not put this game in the hands of your true freshman against one of the best defenses in the country. Although he does deliver a good ball here. Key's got 9 yards and a 1st. Flanagan looking. Nope. Going to get hit and go down as we sent the blitz. Mario Sanders from his nickel corner position just finds a little crease between the right tackle and the right guard. Gets a beeline in on the quarterback. Brings him down for a loss of 8. Leaving them with a 2nd and 18. Reese has this one, gets stood up and then drugged down. He's got 7, but it's going to be 3rd and long. West Virginia needs to sustain a drive here. Getting ready to have this game get out of hand, and Flanagan's going to go down. Tyrone Hooper initially in there on the pressure. It ends up being Paul Stratton who brings him down. 2 sacks on this drive, and that's it. West Virginia has to punt it. Just like that, it looked like it was going to be decent, moving the ball a little bit, and it sputters out as Adams slides down after a scramble of 5 on the first play of our next drive. Sweep right to Casey Smith, does a good job cutting it upfield. He's got 12. Smith rumbling here early. Matthews the motion man. Casey Smith has it again, gets met in the hole, but fights off 2 tackles, falls forward. That's one of the most impressive 5-yard runs you will ever see. As we are into the second quarter already, this one finally a good job by the West Virginia D, stopping us for a negative play. Leaves us with a 3rd and 6. Pressure comes from the right, and this one's going to be swatted down. Hackett gets a hand in there. We were looking for Chandler Taylor along the sideline. It's in a weird position. We probably need to go for this. Too far to kick it, not far enough for the punt, and Lou Walker's going to haul this one in. 13-yard reception. We convert on 4th and medium. And then straight back to the Casey Smith run game as he's fallen forward. Has another first down. Marshall set up again inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal from about the 8. Adams, well protected, throws it to the end line. They say he does not get in. William Matthews has us as close as humanly possible inside the 1. 2nd and goal. We're going to look. Get outside of the pocket, flip it to Brendan Armstrong, who has to come back for the ball. This ends up being a loss. He loses 2 yards. If he could have just fallen to the ground instead of running back to the ball, we might have been able to get in. Armstrong, the motion man, 3rd and goal, counter to Smith. It is a walk-in touchdown. Casey Smith, the Marshall offensive line, it is already 28-3 as we line up for the extra point. Just kidding. 27-3 as Seymour blows the extra point. I have no idea what actually happened. Ensuing kick, Thompson puts this one up into the air. West Virginia returning it. Joseph from his 1 gets a couple blocks along the edge. Bounces off a teammate. Now gets upfield. Aaron Soule can't make the tackle, and there's nobody to get him. Joseph is going to return this one 100 yards. Kevin Joseph. And West Virginia gets their first touchdown on the day. This is just really well blocked and really unlucky for us that we don't get anybody over there to get to him. And West Virginia, a little bit of momentum, a little lucky. They're going to end up going for 2 here. Flanagan under center, scrambling, and is going to fall forward. Has a 3-yard rush, and that's a 2-point conversion. So 27-11. We go from an ultimate high, I think it's going to be 28-3, miss the extra point, give up the ensuing kickoff touchdown, then the 2-point conversion. So a little bit of a squirrely sequence of events there for Marshall, but we're back at it. We've got the ball. Let's see if we can put some more points on the board. Andrew Butler should have had an INT. Definitely need to get back to the run game. This is a weird stretch of the game. 2nd and 10. Smith juking a lot, only able to get 3 quickly to a 3rd and 7. We're not even across midfield yet. Adams lobbing, finding Chandler Taylor along the sideline, breaks a tackle, falling forward, 29-yard reception. This is beautiful. Little slant route, ends up taking this one all the way to the other side of the field as they're in man coverage. Adams lays this one into space. Chandler runs up under it, and Marshall needed that to stop the bleeding a little bit. Very next play, Casey Smith juking upfield as we did a little fake bubble screen to the wide receiver. We go draw play to the running back. It goes for 14. From about the 12, Jeff Clemens falling forward, gets a nice hole, 9 yards and down to the 2-yard line. Now a 2nd and 1, looking to throw. Chandler Taylor, 2-yard touchdown reception as Marshall puts together a scoring drive after it looked very questionable. Chandler Taylor ended up being the best player on the drive for us. He's into the end zone for a touchdown. 34-11 is the score with 4:22 left to play in the first half. Under center Flanagan, next possession as they keep the run game going. This one to Golden, he's got 4. Really need to put together another scoring drive. The offense hasn't been able to do anything. That's been the problem. They needed a special team score as they continue to struggle. Speed option going backwards. Marshall has him in a 3rd and 8. That's not where you want to be. Over the middle, Daniels, I think, got a piece of it. If he didn't, the receiver just dropped it. But either way, it's not going to end up in a conversion. Marshall's going to get the ball back after a punt. We have it to start this drive at the 35. Casey Smith up the middle has 5. Adams in shotgun. Finds his relief valve. Cedric Britt up the sideline, ends up juking out of bounds, gets out, has the first down, however. Now Casey Smith running back screen out of the backfield. This one goes for 11. So we're continuing to diversify the pass game, get Smith involved a bunch of different ways. Here he is juking upfield as he's just had huge holes, but he is down holding his left leg. Ooh, that is not good. Hopefully Casey Smith is able to bounce back. Very next play, Jeff Clemens going for negative yards. He is definitely not the player Casey Smith is. Just a bruised ankle. He will be back soon. That's good news. So nothing serious for Casey Smith. 3rd and 3, however. Chambers, orbit motion. We end up going to him late. That was a dangerous throw. It's actually going to go backwards. as they were sending the cornerback blitz, and it gets home. 4th and 7, we end up having to punt. We're too far for a field goal. Not trusting Seymour, too far to go for it. Omar Golden has it, 16 yards. He gets around the corner. They do call a timeout with 13 seconds. We definitely just wanted to pin them back. Didn't expect anything interesting to happen. As Ron Davis gets in there, they're going to say he threw that ball incomplete. I don't know. That looked a little bit like a sack fumble to me. 2nd and 10. Launching, under 10 seconds left to play, finding Key. Courtney Key catches us in cover 2, just runs the vertical route. Flanagan delivers a good ball right in the honey hole between the corner and the safety up along the sideline. 5 seconds to go. And that's enough room for West Virginia to kick the field goal, and they do. They drill it. My goodness. So not how you want to draw it up. We don't convert. We punt it. We give up 2 big explosive plays, and they get within field goal range. So 34-14, it's a 20-point lead. Marshall feels like they're in full control of this game, but we definitely have had a couple moments where Coach Mayo's going to have some talking points in the locker room for sure. 160 passing yards, 140 rushing yards, 12 minutes of time of possession. We've just kept the ball away from West Virginia, and they've not been able to have any success on offense. Obviously, it helps that they had a possession where they scored on the kick, but we do force a turnover, and again, in full control, just can't shoot ourselves in the foot, it feels like, in this second half. West Virginia has this one to start the 3rd quarter. Flanagan in shotgun, starting from about the 27, goes counter to Golden, met in the hole by Aaron Soule, brings him down. Now a 2nd and 6, Golden on the draw play. Met in the hole by Ryan Young as the linebackers for Marshall are flying around. Now it's a 3rd and 4. Flanagan has all day. Pressure breaking down. Oh man, he delivers a good throw. Eric Love. I wish we had these West Virginia cornerbacks. Eric Love, man, him and Mario Sanders, they just have these moments where they just do not find the football. Brent Carlson has the reception, the tight end. Actually, I felt like Matt Sullivan should have made this INT. We could have been going the other way for another pick 6. He just doesn't animate for the football. He does trip him up, and we bring him down, only a gain of 1. 7-step drop for Flanagan. He looks left, ends up throwing it away as pressure was getting home from Johnson. And it's quickly a 3rd and 9 as they go tunnel screen to Key, and I'm not sure what they're thinking with that one. Courtney Key caught at the line of scrimmage by the Marshall linebackers. 4th and 9, fake punt. Davis, the punter, looks to throw, and he throws it wide. He's got a noodle arm. He caught us. We were going for the punt block. This is wide open. Only Scott Ward was out there to cover 3 guys. But my goodness, and what is happening here? Andrew Adams is gone, and they give us a touchdown. What in the world just happened? We're coming off the fake punt. I see that Andrew Adams is gone. He's missing. You know, we keep getting this glitch, and look at this. The ball just teleports to the end zone. And ultimately, they credit Mike Thomas, our center, with a fumble recovery and give us 6 points. NCAA, what in the world is going on? I've never seen a glitch like that before in my life. So no matter what the final score is, I guess we can take 7 off the board for Marshall. I don't know. We probably would have scored on that drive anyway, if we're being honest. But wow, that was strange. LSU upsets Alabama, who's 5-4, as the changing of the guard in the SEC is fully underway, with Georgia and Alabama both having 4 losses. My goodness. Flanagan has the ball back. Marshall up 41-14. 8-yard reception for Reese. 2nd and 2 in shotgun. Flanagan looking deep left. Scott Ward is out there, and this one just falls. No one's able to get to it. Going to leave them with a 3rd and 2 as Scott Ward has been so sticky in coverage. 3rd and 2, running right. Golden should have cut it up inside, decides to bounce it out, and it ends up a negative play as David Watkins gets out there, and ultimately West Virginia ends up punting it. And look at this, very next play, Casey Smith just running forever. No one's there to touch him. We have people 15 yards downfield who don't have anybody to block. My goodness. I mean, that's what makes me think we probably would have scored on that drive anyway, even without the glitch. But wow, West Virginia struggling. No wonder they're the 115th ranked rushing defense. Woof. Adams under pressure, fighting off a sack, getting out of the sack of another one, launching downfield, and he finds Chandler Taylor. No way. Heisman moment. Let me talk to you, Andrew Adams. Whoa. I've never made a play like this in NCAA, and it feels just like the last episode. We break off a sack in the backfield, but I've never gotten 2 in the same play, still have the speed to launch it downfield. Look, I know West Virginia defense, it leaves a lot to be desired, but that's an incredible play by QB1. My goodness. Next possession. Flanagan in shotgun under pressure, decides to throw it. It's going to be dropped by his wide receiver, leaving them with a 2nd and 10 as Marshall has a 48-14 lead midway through the 3rd. And check out Mario Sanders pick up another sack as we continue to send pressure from the corners, and they're getting home. 3rd and 14 upcoming. Struggle time for West Virginia. Whoa, good throw there, though. Over the middle, Scott Jenkins goes for 18 as Flanagan delivers a nice strike. Flanagan under pressure here on the next play, though, and he's going to be going down. Tyrone Hooper with another big sack. I think he's got 3 or 4 in the past 2 games. Flanagan looking left, finds Grant Little along the sideline, and gets it to a moderate 3rd and 6. So certainly much more manageable. Flanagan in shotgun. Now throwing down the seam, Little drops it. Oh my goodness. Definitely had us burnt. Would have had another first down, but ultimately a drop ends up with another West Virginia punt. And it's at the 3-minute mark, and Marshall's able to bring in the second stringer. So Suggs, Morris, the backup offensive line, a bunch of the backup wide receivers and tight ends are in the game, and we'll just kind of chip away here. 2nd and 10 as we're keeping the second teamers out there running the full offense. Good throw to the sideline to Brandon Ross. He's got the reception. A few plays later, it's a 3rd and 8 as we're nearing the end of the 3rd. It's a good strong throw over the middle on 3rd and long, 20 yards, hitting William Matthews. Hits a little post route right up the hash marks, and he's got it. Good strong throw. Start of the 4th quarter, Morris has time, now being flushed. Gets out of the pocket, runs upfield, slides down. He's just short of the first down, but good job by Morris not making a bad decision. 2nd and inches, it's a sweep to Lew Walker. Gets outside on the edge, gets hit by his own teammate, kind of slows up his progress, but he's got 6, and he's really close to the first down. It's a 1st and goal. Morris stepping up in the pocket, looks to run, getting to the goal line. They say the ball's out. Parrish, the corner's going to dive on top of it, and it is going to go down as a fumble. I don't think Roy Morris can get any closer to getting across the goal line. He's literally right on top of it, and suddenly the ball pops out. Oh, man, we challenged it. The challenge was not successful, and that's going to be a West Virginia recovery. And worst case, it was recovered in the end zone, so it's a touchback. So here's Flanagan on the first play of that next drive, and Leon Williams gets home for the sack, his first sack on the day. Incomplete on 2nd down. Now it's a 3rd and 17, and look who it is again. 2 sacks in the same drive. Leon Williams sets them back. They end up punting, and we get the ball all the way at their 30-yard line. That's how bad and deeply pinned they were. Chris Suggs goes for 2 on first down. Now Roy Morris, next play, juking, quarterback zone read, keeper breaking a tackle, and he's going to score as we pour it on. Roy Morris with the 28-yard touchdown run. This is just well blocked. Check it out. Chandler Taylor's out there. Brandon Ross is out there. Morris shows a little bit of wiggle with the juke and some good speed. Good stuff by the true freshman backup QB. Next drive as we're into the final few plays here. West Virginia from their own 20. Flanagan in the pocket, runs straight into pressure, and he's going to go down. Leon Williams, his 3rd sack of the day. 2nd and 12, turn and give to Golden. He's got himself a little bit, breaks a few tackles. 12-yard gain and a first down by Golden. He's ran the ball hard. They definitely did not give him the ball enough. 2nd and 7, Key in motion. They turn and give to Golden again. Nice play by Andrew Jackson, the backup linebacker. Stops him at the line of scrimmage, leaving them with a 3rd and 7. Flanagan looking, stepping up, and he's going to get hit from behind and go down. This one they're going to credit to Josh Clark. I think maybe his first career sack. The backup defensive end hits Flanagan, who holds the ball way too long, and that ends up being the last meaningful play that I want to show you of the day. Really good to see some of those youngsters get in there, especially on defense, and make it happen. That's going to wrap it up for Morgantown. As expected, Marshall rolls big in this one, 55-14. We have not talked enough about Scott Ward. We saw the huge rating bump for him in the offseason training results. He gets the elevation to cornerback 2, becomes a starter, and as teams continue to avoid throwing in the direction of David Watkins, our top corner, Ward has seen a lot of action, but he's been lights out. Ward needs a little bit more love, and that's why I wanted to shout him out. Andrew Adams, 187 yards on only 18 attempts. We didn't need to do much. 3 touchdowns. As he gets off to a hot start, we didn't need him to be a hero, but he did have that crazy escape artist touchdown, which was my favorite play of the season so far, to Chandler Taylor. Breaks those 2 sacks in the backfield, makes the throw. Just elite stuff from number 3. The defense was fantastic today. 8 sacks on Flanagan, 3 from Williams, who just continues to make plays every time he sees the field. We've got Jermaine Johnson and Ron Davis as the starters. Williams is in there as the 3rd defensive end. That trio might be the best in college football, truly. Another good business trip for the number 1 team in the country, exactly how you want to draw it up. Week 11 is finally here, and our matchup with Notre Dame is on deck. But first, let's look at recruiting. Big addition this week is Albert Freeman, the defensive tackle, once into this class. We don't lose any targets, and 6 guys are scheduled to visit this week. It is huge. First, let's talk about Freeman. 75 overall, defensive tackle. He's a 4-star in this class. The number 14 tackle overall from Iowa, 6'4", 274. So he's got really great size. +3 after scouting him up to that 75. He's got a balanced play style, and his ratings really reflect that. 75 strength, 81 power move, 79 finesse move, 78 block shed, plus he can tackle, and he's got good play recognition. We've got a ton of bodies at defensive tackle, so it'll be a minute probably before he sees the field, but I can see him developing into a quality starter based on the fact that there are no holes in his game as a true freshman. This is the list of guys who have either visited already or are planning to visit soon. Both of the elite linebackers, we're still in the mix for them. Jay Will, the cornerback, Hope, the offensive tackle, Thomas Harris is coming this week, and of course my personal favorite, Antoine Gross, the athlete. We're likely going to turn him into an 80 overall dual threat quarterback if we can bring him in. So a lot of great targets still on the board for us. Even though we've got some guys still to wrangle in, it's a great class. We have been jumped by Nebraska, who is on a recruiting tear right now. They've taken the top spot from us this week, but Marshall still has 11 guys in the class, and we're looking to add more after the Notre Dame game next week. We saw the studio update during the game, but after Notre Dame, we're supposed to face North Carolina State, and they just proved that they can hang with anybody in the country on the right day. So I'm glad we've had a few blowouts here to rest guys, save the starters a little bit, because we are about to go back-to-back bangers. First of which, of course, are the Golden Domers. The Fighting Irish are coming to Huntington next episode. Crazy. Number 5 team in the country. Programming note, that game and the rest of Season 6 is actually going to be live streamed here on the channel. Long story short, I want to tell the rest of this story, and it'll be a little bit quicker as we get ready for NCAA 25 if I stream these games. And I might be able to play 2 to 3 games a week as well, which would speed the process up a lot. So be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you see the live messages when we go live on the channel. But I appreciate all the love and support. You guys are the best. I'll see you in the next one. It'll be live, don't forget. Peace.